Hey guys, it's Libby, and today I'm doing the New York Times by the book tag. I was tagged by Mel from That Girl Bookworm, and the tag was originally created by Marie Berg. I think that this is based on questions that people sometimes ask other people in the New York Times. I don't know. I don't read the New York Times. I'm a Washingtonian, then that is treason. So I watched Mel's video when she posted it, and I read the questions then, but that was like 3 weeks ago, and I don't remember what any of the questions were, so you guys are going to be getting spontaneous reactions here. So, first question, what book is on your nightstands now? I will go grab it for you. Siege and Storm. You know, I assumed that they were asking the question literally, and this is the book that is currently literally on my nightstand because I am technically in progress, although I have not picked it up since like January. But if they mean metaphorically, as in what book are you currently reading, that is Carpe Jugulum by Terry Pratchett. Okay, next question. What is the last truly great book that you read? Oh my god. Truly great? That is a mortifying question. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go to Goodreads. I'm gonna go to all the books that I read this year and last year that I rated 5 stars. Okay. Okay. Crimson Petal and the White, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Nimona, S. Illuminae have been my 5-star books so far this year. Are any of those truly great? I think I have described Crimson Petal and the White as truly great, but is it truly great? I don't know if I can think of any book that I would describe as truly great. I'm not old enough to answer this question. Okay, last year, Tess the D'Urbervilles, Nimona again, 13th Tale, Yellow Wallpaper, Why Is This Night Different from All Other Nights, Last Hero, The Seas, Masquerade, Golem and the Jinni, Woodlanders. There are a lot of 5-star books last year. Hamlet! I read Hamlet. I think we can all agree that Hamlet is a great book. It's not a book, it's a play. I'm going with it. I'm clinging to that. Hamlet. Not my favorite Shakespeare play. Did I read Measure for Measure last year? You know what? Measure for Measure. Measure for Measure is the last truly great book that I read. Okay, question 3. If you could meet any writer, dead or alive, who would it be and what would you want to know? I am not mature enough to answer these questions. These are too intense. Okay, I'm assuming that if they're dead and they spoke a different language than me, that we can communicate. So Aeschylus is a possibility. Well, my favorite authors are Daphne du Maurier, but I don't want to meet her because we would just sit there awkwardly thinking of all of the different ways that the other was judging us, and we'd never say anything. Diane Setterfield is another favorite of mine, but she's a bit of a recluse and I don't want to bother her. Terry Pratchett. I don't feel like I need to meet Terry Pratchett. I feel like I already know him with the Discworld books. And then we have Thomas Hardy. I don't really feel the need to meet Thomas Hardy. And William Shakespeare. Again, those are my top 5 authors. I think I'd go with Shakespeare. And for what I would want to know, I would create a poll that all English professors, they could submit their questions and vote on them. And then I would ask that question to help the literary community so that I don't have to make any decisions myself. Okay, number 4. What books might we be surprised to find on your shelves? That's a good one. I think I'm an open book. Ha! Book puns! Regarding what I read. Okay. Shatter Me by Tahir Mafi. I bought this because it was cheap on Book Outlet, and I don't think I'm going to like it. I do not think that I am its target audience. However, I am subscribed to witty novels, and so I'm kind of caught up in that whole situation. So I'm kind of afraid to read this, because then I will hate it and make Whitney sad. But also, it might be, maybe it's great. Maybe it's great. And maybe I'll never know. Okay, number 5. How do you organize your personal library? This one's easy. It is alphabetical by author, which is the only acceptable way. Number 6, what book have you always meant to read and haven't gotten around to yet? Anything you feel embarrassed never to have read. Well, at the beginning of this year, that was The Crimson Petal and the White, but then I made it my business to finish that book. And so, check. Okay, the second question, anything you're embarrassed that you haven't read, is 1984 by George Orwell. This is a modern classic and maybe the most important book of the 20th century, and I should read it. I should. Embarrassed that I meant to read but haven't gotten around to? Like, aside from everything that is on my shelves that I haven't read yet? I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Ankh-Morpork City Watch novels in the Discworld series. I read Guards, but I haven't read any of the other ones, and I am told that they are the best, except Guards. Number 7, disappointing, overrated, just not good. What book did you feel you were supposed to like but didn't? Do you remember the last book you put down without finishing? Yes I do, because that was about a week ago. It was the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin, and I just couldn't. I'm sorry, Jane. I can't. I don't care how good the ending is. I'm just so uninterested that it is unbearable, and I'm not going to torture myself to read 400 pages of that. And regarding the first part, what books do you feel you were supposed to like but you didn't? Because of the BookTube SFF Awards and other things, like just being more involved in the BookTube community, I've been reading more books that have been recommended to me as opposed to ones that I have discovered for myself, and I need to stop trusting other people because I usually like books that other people suggest not as much. So, yeah. Darker Shade of Magic, obviously, we all know how I feel about that. The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry, I heard on one of the Book Riot blogs, and that's why I picked it up, and it was just not for me. 5th season. Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, I read because I wanted to feel what it was like to read a really popular recent release, because I mainly just read backlist stuff. And wow, that book was bad. That book was not good. Number 8, what kinds of stories are you drawn to? Any you stay clear of? Also, there's a lawnmower going on in the back. I apologize. Stories I am drawn to is easy. Questionably sane young women in ominous old houses. I'll also take a questionably sane young man. I steer clear of horror because nope. A, I don't like to be scared, and B, I found that horror stories often don't have a very good conclusion. Like, they don't wrap up. They just sort of stop, and it's like, and it was inside the house the whole time. The end. And I just feel ripped off. Number 9, if you could require the president to read one book, what would it be? Oh, we're back into the hard ones. I mean, our current president is like a big reader, so I feel like there's nothing I could suggest that he's not already aware of. Yeah, most of the books that I read are about small canvas familial problems, and I would feel weird recommending that to the president. I'm gonna go with 1984 again. Okay, and the last question is, What do you plan to read next? I have a Goodreads shelf for this as well. Let's head on over. I love Goodreads. So when I'm done with Carpe Jugulum, I'm either going to be moving on to We Free Men, which is the first book in the Tiffany Aching series, which is kind of a spin-off from the Witches series, which is what Carpe Jugulum is in. And if I want a Pratchett break, then I'm gonna go for The Fair Fight by Anna Freeman. Okay, this was way more difficult than I thought that it would be. And I am way too shy to call anyone out and tag them, so I will say, if you, like me, do not have pierced ears, I tag you to do this. That means you, Mom! You have to start a booktube channel now. You're watching this. I tagged you. Tag. Okay, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you later.